We're a small community just south and east of New Orleans, and 13 years ago our community was completely devastated by Hurricane Katrina. And we are so very fortunate in our recovery to have either discovered or been discovered by Music and the Brain. This program has brought amazing opportunities for our elementary school students to understand and experience music theory in ways that students often don't have the opportunity to do. Our kids are learning in a tactile way, in a visual way, and in a fun way to understand the universal language of music.
There's been a lot of concern that our students don't have the literacy skills and numeracy skills that they need to succeed as kindergartners, and then because of a lack of those experiences in kindergarten, as they mature, we're finding that our kids, they're just really struggling. And some of the things in particular that our students have been challenged by in the classroom, they're actually succeeding in the keyboard lab. It was explained that our students struggled to read from left to right. But then in the music classroom, they're certainly reading from left to right very successfully. In another situation, they were struggling to understand fractions. So when we had them begin to compose measures on their own, or to identify measures that resembled a certain fraction, they're very, very successful. And I don't think it's an accident, a happy little accident that happens. I think it just expresses very much the power that music has to help our students develop the connectivity that they need in their brains.
Music in the Brain has made a tremendous impact in our community. Socioeconomically, our community is not wealthy, but we're very fortunate to have good support from our school board and the administration at large toward the arts. With that platform in place, Music in the Brain coming into our school system, those combined forces are beginning to build a music legacy that we will enjoy for generations, I think, to come. Our children are reading music, understanding music, not in ways that are just numeric, but in actual reading and actual understanding. And the result is, by the time our Music in the Brain students are getting to middle school, they're really reading. Band is moving much quicker for those kids. On the high school level, both band and chorus, those children are reading music and are producing true quality music.
It gives a student who may not succeed otherwise, or to an academic norm or behavior norm, a lot of times we're seeing that those students, they find a way, something happens where they can relate to the music, and they have that moment to succeed. So I think for that child who, in second grade has heard so much of what they cannot do, when they come through our door and they're able to play Ode to Joy, and they can do, and if they can do in music, what can they do in academics? I mean, maybe just even 3 or 4 weeks only into the program, I saw what it meant for my students. And then I began to get a little more comfortable teaching it. And for 4 years, I taught Music in the Brain at that school, and then transferred to this parish. But I didn't have that access any longer, where I realized how absolutely valuable it was. And I was teaching at our lowest performing school with the students who were notoriously the most challenging, but they were walking into a keyboard lab doing amazing work and working focused and quiet and achieving things that were blowing the minds of the adults that were dropping by to see what was going on. And our assistant superintendent at the time, she was watching a class one day and texted from her phone to the superintendent, "I don't know why we don't have this in every school."
We're very grateful to Music and the Brain, to the theoreticians that have worked on it, to those people who have practically brought it forward to teach it, to believe in it. And we're all very grateful and are now the beneficiaries of tremendous music change in our community. Thank you, Music and the Brain.